On this episode of Media Litter Sandwich,
we're at the Flint Comics Fall Fest, representing Pod Bros, Crazy Mark, myself, and who are you guys?
My name is Jeff. This is Tyler. We make movies here in Michigan.
And I'm the dude that made the Killer Raccoon Fish movie.
In 3D? Welcome to Media Litter Sandwich. We're at the Flint Farmers Market for, what's this called?
This is called the Flint Comics Fall Fest.
I'm Sky Miley, better known as Toaden from Toaden.com, youtube.com/ToadenK. With me is Mark Monster from
CrazyMark.com.
Today, we have a lot of vendors around, and we pulled not one, but two completely different horror filmmakers from two totally different production companies. And then we're going to have them fight it out because we thought it looked cool.
It's like the Thunderdome around here, isn't it, boys?
I am the Thumb Wrestling King.
So go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Tyler Zickafus of Atomic Swan Films.
Now I'm Jeff Swarden of Verna June Entertainment.
Okay, so neither one of you used your last names in your production companies, and I'm assuming most people don't know how to spell Zickafus.
Yeah, Zickafus. It's just how it looks. It's Zickafous.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the name of the film company again?
Atomic Swan Films.
Atomic Swan. Very cool.
Wow.
Smile for the camera. Okay, so I know Jeff from various film things, such as a couple of 48s, and we've used some of the same zombies because we traveled some of the same. I think this is the first time I meet you, Tyler.
Yeah.
What are some of the events you've been part of?
I was one of the very few that was a part of every single one of the Flint horror conventions when we had it here in Flint. I've been a part
Where
of
would the Flint Horror Convention move?
Well, it's no longer around.
Okay.
What? What happened? That's
they
insane.
replaced it with the Monster Marketplace, and then that got replaced this year to a Flint Film Fear Fest, which will be on October 14th at the Mott College, and we will be having a short film debuting there.
Okay. Yeah, I was at the Flint Horror Market. That's what it was called. Yeah,
The
last
Market,
year, and it corresponded with the Flint Zombie Walk, which was awesome. I went and covered that with 360 VR cameras, and then I just walked practically down the street and hung out there with Scott Grobin, and I probably said his name wrong. I'm sorry, Scott.
Grobner. Yep.
Huh? Grobner. And
Maggot Zombie.
Maggot Monster.
Maggot, yeah, he's so awesome. Yep, and of course he also does the Burton Zombie Walk, which I have a video of that. It's kind of a documentary style this year on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ToadenK.
Man, I'm entranced over here.
Okay, so Mark is staring at Killer Raccoon Fish.
Killer
In
Raccoon
3D.
Fish
In 3D.
in 3D.
That is my brainchild that I had when I was a teenager. I had this concept of a terrible monster movie, and I originally made it into a zine. Do you know what a zine is? Are you familiar with a zine?
Like a magazine.
Yeah,
type
homemade
thing.
magazine. Well, I first created it as a homemade magazine, and then I bought this really cheap $70 camera that shot in red and blue 3D.
Right on.
So I'm like, well, now's the time to make Killer Raccoon Fish in 3D, and I made it.
But dude, man, I think I've actually seen this kind of thing. Like when I was living up in Rose City, it was my next door neighbor.
It's basically part human, part raccoon, part fish, perfect killing machine.
There you go. I did see him over in Lupton. Yes, at a yard sale.
And the cool thing is, YouTube supports 3D. Do
Exactly.
they still support red and blue 3D? I know they did for a time.
Well, I believe so, but that one has never been released on YouTube.
Okay.
That is actually, I sell that at local conventions, and that thing has gone big. I've sold a ton of them.
Dude, I was at a yard sale. I was reaching for a guitar, and he beat me to it. I went and it turned around and hissed and tried to bite me. I did.
They're a
Killer
little
Raccoon
rabid.
Fish. It was there. Killer Raccoon Fish was there. It is alive. It's a real thing.
Okay, so 3D. So you bought this camera off of eBay. Do you remember about how much?
It wasn't even eBay. I mean, I got this top tier at bnhphoto.com.
Okay.
That's a cheap plug, by the way. I love them. Love them guys.
Love B&H.
And it was $70 brand new, nothing the matter with it. And it was Vivitar brand. Vivitar, you know, you make good cameras too. That's another cheap plug.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had to make the monster movie. We made it about almost 2 years ago. It came out about 90 days after it was filmed. I filmed very quick.
Yeah, I'm from that 48-hour competition realm, and now I have a day job doing corporate video. It's all very, very fast. Yeah. I once talked to one of the guys. He just kept winning competition after competition, and we had a 2-week film competition coming up. He's like, dude, I can make Gone of the Wind in 2 weeks. I mean, I make full... It's like, I'm so used to doing 48-hour films, I can make Gone in the Wind in 2 weeks. That's awesome.
I got a question here.
Yes.
It's like, all conspiracy theory aside, what kind of special effects do you use in a movie like Killer Raccoon Fish in 3D?
I grew up on 3 directors that I absolutely enjoyed. It was Lloyd Kaufman,
Okay.
Roger Corman,
Oh man, Roger's the man.
and Ed Wood.
Oh, that's even more the man.
I'm as hardcore as it gets on stuff like that. So this is extremely B movie, extremely B, like, you know, special effects and stuff like that.
So I got to ask you, inside the movie here, in the movie, does someone wrestle the raccoon?
There is
Fish
not,
monster?
but there is a scene with a blowtorch / flamethrower and a trident made out of frog gigs. The PVC
Whoa.
pipe.
Wow. And you're able to do that with a $70 camera. I mean, it's amazing what you get for cheap equipment. I actually do have a 3D rig because I have 2 360 cameras, and then I got a 3D printed mount for it from a friend of mine that I paid for. And because he was late sending it to me for free, he sent me a rig to use the 2 360 cameras for 3D. And so I got my rig for free, pretty much. And he sent me that was Professor Van Puppet, if you're familiar with his YouTube channel, which tells you how to do 360 stuff, tells you how to do all from the name of a puppet. And you know, it's amazing what you do with cheaper equipment. Now, Jeff, I got to bring you in this conversation. What's the cheapest equipment you have that you still find is very useful?
You know, the best equipment is a clamp light.
Yes.
$5 at Home Depot.
And what's that again?
Amazing
A
how
clamp
much-
light.
Oh,
And especially, you know,
man.
if you look at your bulbs, make sure you got the color temperature you want.
That's the
some of
silver dome
360
thing?
Yeah, the 360 shoots I'm doing, it's so hard to light without making the light very noticeable. Clamp lights are so amazing.
Yep.
Oh man, like next to duct tape.
Clamp lights and a few fluorescent bulbs. Under
Yeah.
$10, you got a light kit.
And duct tape.
Oh,
Gaff tape,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
duct tape's cheaper.
yep.
But duct tape's a lot cheaper. But I always keep gaff tape around. Mark here, Mark has an awesome tip about gaff tape, by the way, of how you keep it on your costumes.
Oh yeah. Wrap stuff up and roll stuff because you never know where you're gonna need some.
Yeah.
And a hard lesson I've learned also is don't use the duct tape on a surface like a public area.
That's why you have gaff tape,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
could use it on public areas.
Because that goopy stuff stays
Yeah.
behind, and you stay behind an hour trying to get stuff off with nail polish remover
Right.
and
That's
alcohol.
why you use gaff
peroxide.
tape. It's more expensive, but it's worth it. And I'll tell you, I'll take a pen, just a writing pen, and wrap gaff tape around it.
Yes.
And then I have it until I lose the pen.
Oh, sure.
Or Sharpie. Or whatever. Jeff, go ahead and promote one of your movies. You got to be one that you just came out with or the one that you're currently working on.
Yeah, we're actually working on a movie called The Forever Choice. So we're going to be filming at the end of September, end of October. So it's going to be a thriller. So pretty excited about that movie.
I mean, what's the basis around the forever choice?
So The Forever Choice actually follows a guy as he's battling depression, contemplating suicide. And it kind
Okay.
of takes him back through his life and all the events that have led him up to that point.
Okay.
And then it kind of shows there's a sequence of what could happen after you kill yourself. You know, like what happens, what's the consequence?
This is not campy, is it?
No, not campy.
I don't know,
This
you-
one's a little more to the heart.
You gotta
know,
watch
the
out for
last
those
movie I did
sandworms,
was,
man.
You know, a little more campy. This one I wanted to do something a little bit more with a positive message.
Okay.
But this is cool, man. When is it gonna happen? When do you think it's gonna be available for
So
the public
our
consumption?
goal is to have it done before January, February. So we'll be out, you know, middle of next year.
And you're going to have movies at the Flint Horror Festival?
The Flint Film Fest, Fear Fest thing, yeah.
Flint
Yeah,
Fear something
Yeah.
Fest, Horror
Yeah.
Something Dark
October
Side.
14th. It's a
Yep.
Saturday.
Okay, October 4th. Oh. Yep, we will be at Conclave or the
Wow.
Continuum and the Zombie and the Wyandotte Zombie Pub Crawl that
Now,
day.
Killer Raccoon Fish won't be there because that debuted at the Monster Marketplace last year.
Okay.
We have two of them. The first one is going to be from Atomic Swan Films. It's called 357. It is a short zombie film, but it's not your traditional zombie film. It's like Twilight Zone meets Alfred Hitchcock out.
Okay.
And then the other one that we have is Rotten to the Core. It was from a film company that we helped, Pop-Up Zero Productions. And this one is a hack and slash homage to 80s slasher films.
Oh man.
Okay, so Jeff, I know you're local to Flint. Are you local to Flint as well?
Born and raised, still reside in Flint, yeah.
So, okay, you know,
I'm
a lot
as
of
Flint as it gets.
okay, so a lot of people are familiar with Flint, Michigan in negative ways. Do you think you would be making horror movies if you weren't from Flint? Does Flint kind of put out that projection in your
Well,
mind?
the interesting thing is, I mean, Flint gets a bad rap because of the water and all that stuff, but
Yeah, well, the water, when the automotive industry went away.
And what's interesting though is
Michael
despite
Moore.
all that, right? Despite all that, like the arts are still really strong in Flint. You know, there's a lot of filmmakers, a lot of artists, a lot of musicians. You know, so when events like the comics, you know, con that we're at now, there's always local artists throwing off their stuff. So,
Dude, I got an
pretty
interesting factoid for you. You know, when peeps go to sign up for Medicaid, one of the questions they're asked is, have you drank any Flint water? Believe it or not.
right?
Yes.
I heard they're gonna start bottling the stuff now. You know,
And
start
there's
selling it.
and there's another little funny note is a lot of people don't know me for my horror, they know me for my comedy. I've done so much comedy work. It's like that's what I'm used to. Like Killer Raccoon Fish is more camp than anything. It's like, you know, Airplane meets Friday the 13th, kind of.
You guys gotta check out the Chavoose comedy album.
I've made a comedy album. We've also have a web series called Rats, which is all improv. There is no script whatsoever. And we've made 11 episodes of that. Well, everybody just knows me as Foos. That's what my nickname is, Foos. And they know that I've been making these things since I was a teenager, so I'm always there. I'll make whatever you have. I'll try to help you as hard as I can. I've been here that long, I'm not going anywhere. I would still make movies. I've always loved making movies, so that's my thing.
Number one, I'm just happy people recognize me, but
Oh.
I figure it's kind of funny though, because I like me personally, not a big horror movie guy. Like I haven't watched a lot of the horror classics, and
I'm
so
not
people
a
ask
huge
me
zombie
questions,
guy,
and,
but I
know,
I
I'll
don't
take
know
it.
how many zombie videos are on my YouTube channel. If you want to count it, comment, rate, subscribe, and then count. Like, dude, you got 15, you dumb, you know, whatever. So many zombie things on
And
there.
they're scary,
I just
frightening.
Love the,
You
I
have to
just
see
love
'em.
the community and the networking aspects.
Yep.
It's so, you know, seeing what people do.
Yep.
You know, do you guys have like a single makeup person you go to, or you have like several that you feel free to talk about them for a second?
Yeah, so well, like on our new project, the Forever Choice, our
Mm-hmm.
makeup artist is Morgan Getty. So she's working on all kinds of projects all throughout the state. So
Okay.
excited to work with her
I
on
believe
this project.
I believe I met them.
Yep. So she's worked on a lot of the 48-hour competitions and stuff too, and you know, worked on quite a few projects. So she's super talented. It's gonna be great having her on board. You know, every project's a little different. Different people come on and stuff, but
Oh yeah, that, how it is.
right, amazing makeup people though here.
I got a question for Jeff, right down
Yep.
there at the end.
Yep.
Jeff, who inspired you into horror? Who's your
So-
inspirations?
I do like Alfred Hitchcock, so I like more of the suspense
Oh,
than
the
the actual
classic.
jump out and scare. Personally, I've always been a Freddy guy. I like the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
Oh, you said this was like Sweet Dreams.
Right. You know, that's the one thing. I mean, you can. Everybody else you can kind of run away from. Somebody's messing with you when you're sleeping. I mean, it's kind of hard to do anything. So.
I honestly think the Crypt Keeper's one of mine.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be so scary, and you just want to run up and give him a hug.
But the Crypt Keeper?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would totally hug the Crypt
Let's
Keeper.
go
I'm gonna have to
hug
burn
the
my
Crypt
clothes afterwards, but I would totally hug him.
We'll hug
Actually,
the
that's some pretty
Crypt
good movies too. The
Keeper.
Bordello of Blood, and
Yeah.
you know, great,
Demon
great,
Knight.
great campy. Yep.
I've always been more for like the real slashers. Like the two that I've always loved, my two favorite characters of any slasher would have been Cropsy from The Burning
Yeah.
and then Angela from Sleepaway Camp.
Wow.
Now those two can't get as realer than any of the rest of them. I mean, those were real. There was no faking it. There was no monster behind it. Those two were about as good as it gets.
Actual
Well, the first
documentation.
Friday the 13th.
Well, that was Pamela. She was just a crazy old lady trying to revenge her son, who was not really dead.
Well, maybe. Who knows?
So, Jeff, where are you going to go after this next movie again? It's called The Forever Choice?
Yep, The Forever Choice.
Where are you going to go next? What's in the future for you?
So, my next one's actually going to be a comedy, I think. So I love doing some comedy. Like, I want to go straight comedy.
Oh, nice. So you go to a very serious,
Right.
slightly depressing.
Right.
You kind of need that.
You do.
You kind of need that. You need that cooling down period.
Exactly. So I know there's a lot of local comedians, a lot of like improv guys that are all around the state. So I want to bring them all together and kind of do a project with some comedians. So.
Now you mentioned you do improv as well. Have both of you taken improv classes and things like that?
So I've actually teached improv classes quite a bit, and
very
it's been a
cool.
few years since I did them. But
I've thought about taking improv classes. Of course, it would be closer to Detroit and Ferndale,
Right.
But
I have no formal training whatsoever.
okay.
You know, that sometimes that's the best because you can reach into the ethereal, ether sphere and pull out like inspiration and help from beyond to create such fantastic works as Killer Raccoon Fish. For all we know, you were spoken to by an entity from another dimension that said, Zerkofus, make Killer Raccoon Fish
And
in 3D.
If you look back at the very first season of Saturday Night Live, that's really all the training you need. Just that first season, that's it. It doesn't get much better than that.
Right on, man, right on. I'm all for it. Got to do the knuckles on that one,
See,
too.
I'm just telling you. Yeah, the greatest skit of all time for anything, even though it's quite dated, was Richard Pryor and Chevy Chase Word Association.
Okay.
Find that on YouTube.
Okay.
Right on.
Okay. So you both make these movies all the time, and you come to markets. You sell them through various ways. You don't have to tell me what they are if you do. But do you have day jobs?
I do.
What industry is it in?
I work retail.
and
No, you
actually-
don't. You're a filmmaker. You are a filmmaker.
What his
and that's
day
what-
job?
His day job.
day job.
I'm a retail manager by day. By night, I am a local B-movie filmmaker.
And
You are
actually,
just okay.
Let Jeff talk.
Last month, I actually took the plunge. So I quit the day job and all full force into making movies.
Oh, that's awesome.
Amen,
what
brother.
industry was the day job in?
I was working in retail too, home improvement
Okay.
retail.
No, don't mention that.
Well, William works retail as well.
I worked retail. I got out of that fast.
I didn't work retail that long,
If you need
but I
some-
was
if you-
lucky on mine.
If you need some comedy material, there's no better place than working at a retail store.
I hear ya. I feel ya. Oh man, so true.
How do you make money doing these things? How do you make the money?
So, that is a good question.
That's my question
right.
to you.
Okay.
Because now you're full time.
Look at that. Just look at that cover alone. If you didn't even know anything about the movie, would you buy that movie with the cover? Just the way it looks.
Yes. Oh,
It's
please take
all-
my money.
It doesn't matter how much you spend. If you create something very small, it's all about how you present it. If you present something like that, I would buy it and I wouldn't care what it's about. It's just branding and gimmicks.
And then also, I mean, it takes a lot of, profit and stuff to make a feature film. So we also, help out music videos, commercials, do a lot of photo shoots for different venues, So anything I can do behind the camera to help make some money, keep it
Very
going.
cool. So you're adding the freelance work on top of that.
Yep. Then
yeah.
that kind of helps me keep me going until I can, make movies full time, doing nothing but making movies.
I'm a part of the whole do-it-yourself type of thing. Like, that one has the best cover of all the movies I've ever done. But a lot of the other shorts, I just hand make every single cover. I hand draw all the letters. There's no photocopying or Xeroxing. I just kind of do it yourself.
I'm way too lazy for that.
And it's down to even the disc. Like, I'll burn every single disc because I only have one disc drive, and I'll just burn a bunch of DVDs and just hand write them. So it's just, I'm like that, kind of like just a do-it-yourselfer.
Dude, man, you are so grassroots, it's beyond righteous.
I'm pretty much like the best way somebody that said about me is I'm like old school punk. Just do it yourself. And and that's how I've always been.
But you know what you got to do next with killer raccoon fish in 3D? You need to make little stuffed animal raccoon fish for your merchandising and marketing.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to sew now.
I have currently at my table right now, I have a fish with a raccoon mask on there.
Hey, do I see T-shirts in your future?
And there is
little stuffed animals?
And on top of that, there's also going to be a film series. That's the first one in the series.
Oh my
There's
God.
a whole expanded universe.
I'm going to sleep with it.
Okay, so let me get this. Let me sum up a little bit here.
Yeah.
You guys pretty much do majority of work yourself. You film it, you write it, you edit it, and your day job is / just was recently retail, and then you sell them as a vendors and things, and you're still in retail.
Yeah.
You're retailing your own movie.
Right.
Oh, come on, Scott. We're dwelling
the
on a
best-
subject that's too low, man. They're filmmakers.
I'm in sales. That's what it's all about.
We recently interviewed a professional salesman, and just because we wanted to integrate, just talk about how important it is to be able to sell something. Do you think you'd be where you are today if it wasn't for your sales experience?
I think I'd still be there because I've always been making these covers and stuff like that since I was a kid. So
Right.
Well, see, and to me, it's always been film business. You got to put as much work into the film as you do the business. On it.
Right.
So it just depends on what you want to do. I mean, if you want to make a movie that is going to get out into the theaters, that kind of thing, you got to.
But has it helped you being able to sell it?
Definitely. Help the sales and everything has helped a lot.
it has helped.
So
Yes.
you learn how to talk to people, communicate with people, learn the value of marketing. So business is definitely a big part. Sales.
See, I might be one of the only people alive that says, retail can actually help, improve other aspects.
It does.
I know it hurts a little to say it out loud. Does
Yeah,
it? Doesn't?
The only thing
honestly-
about retail that's kind of messed up is the hours, working holidays, things
Right.
like that. I mean, you get valuable sales techniques.
But it's like a wet diaper. You want to get out of it as soon as possible.
Exactly. Nice while it's
It's a
there, but
poopy
it's better when
diaper,
it's
man.
gone.
Are you good, Toaden, man? Are you going to run around with a poopy diaper on for a long time? No, you want to get out of it as soon as
I
possible.
wouldn't compare it to a poopy diaper, as we just said.
I tried that. I got into the private sector for about a month and a half,
Yeah.
and then I went back to retail.
Oh man.
Private sector of wearing a poopy diaper? What?
It was just corporate, big corporate. I went there. I worked that life for about a month and a half, and I went right back to retail. Couldn't do it. It wasn't for me. There
Okay.
was no fun in it. That's what's weird about it. It wasn't fun.
Wow.
Now, when you say you're talking about making videos corporate,
No,
right?
like big bank. I worked at a bank for a little bit.
Okay.
And
Oh.
it just wasn't fun.
Right.
It's just a whole lot different than working retail. With retail, it's just more people, more fun, more just kind of do it yourself. With the bank, it's strict this.
Yeah, it's like Big Brother, man. Do they tell you who to date and what car to drive and
No, they didn't go that far.
what TV to watch?
They
And
did tell me
what to
cut
eat.
They did tell me to cut my hair. I
Yeah.
didn't do it.
No, I
And
wouldn't
that's the
either.
thing. It's a
I would do
submission thing.
this. I would just put my hair up and be like, does this count? Yeah. Are you telling the girls over there to cut their hair?
Exactly.
It's against my religion.
Right. It's against my hairstylist.
Well, some people it is against their religion. I totally believe you when you tell me that.
Yeah, Native American religion. Yeah, you don't cut this shaman's hair off. There it is. End of story.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up. You're both filmmakers in Flint. Lot of it's funny because there's people know Flint for a bunch of bad stuff, and yet you make horror movies. Do you think that helps the product that it's Flint, or is it just the fact that it's local? Or it doesn't matter?
It really doesn't matter. I mean, we're all, at least me, I'm Flint made. I'm all for Flint. I'm not going to degrade it or anything like that. I'm still going to make movies in Flint. I don't care what's going on right now. It's just,
Okay.
I'm just kind of living the dream.
I mean, the one thing that helps is Flint's a really strong arts community. I mean, they support what you're doing. People always coming out backing you and everything. So whether you're doing horror or something more serious, you got a lot of love and stuff in the city. So. That's why I keep making movies here.
All right. So yeah, once again, what's your website where people can buy your stuff, check you out?
Basically, whenever you see me on a street corner, you can buy DVDs off me. But you can look for us on Facebook, Twitter, and all those at Atomic Swan Films. And then my name is Tyler Zickafoos, so you can always friend me on Facebook or anything like that.
Yep, and then my name again is Jeff Swerden. I have VernaJuneENT.com, or you can find us at Facebook.com, The Forever Choice.
All right. And with me was Mark Monster from
CrazyMark.com.
And I'm Scott Myalley, better known as Toaden from Toaden.com, YouTube.com/ToadenK. Please comment, rate, subscribe, on whatever platform you're listening to or watching. Let us know what you think. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please join the conversation online. And may the algorithms be in your favor.